I'm a married man. I'm married to a man who was an ex-Mormon, as I was telling Caitlin. She's sick of hearing this kind of stuff, but I was like, oh my God, my guy's an ex-Mormon too! It's awesome! You guys are punk rock, yeah! Except if you're the weird, crazy ex-Mormon. Way to go. He can't be here tonight because his ex-Mormon mother just arrived in town just this moment, so they're having an ex-Mormon reunion in my house, decorated for ex-Mormon Christmas. I am ex-Unitarian, indeed. But my guy is not only an ex-Mormon, he is a car fanatic, which is how we got to the Michigan International Speedway. We were married, I guess, 2.5 years ago in that brief, funny window where you so it's really marriage, but within the state of California. And apparently also New York, I guess. But when I leave California, I'm a single man. I lost the ring, actually. I have a lake in Maine. I'd like to tell him. But we, for our first wedding anniversary, my idea was that I would take him to a NASCAR rally somewhere in the United States, and the one that happened to fall in August was in Michigan. And I don't know so much about cars, but David does. We get 5 car magazines at our house, and one of them is called Auto Week, which comes every week. And that's in addition to, it turned out today I was going through them, there's something called Forza, which is about Ferraris, and then there's a magazine called Bimmer, which is about BMWs, and these are in addition to Road and Track and Car and Driver and Car and Autobahn or whatever the other thing is you get. And we went to the LA Auto Show, and we went to the San Francisco Auto Show, and I give him 15 little pieces of paper, and he has to pay me a piece of paper for every car that I have to sit in and talk about. Because to prevent my own untimely death. Because he will have me sit in every car in that whole thing, and it's unlimited to 15. I've worked it out really well. I've been to the Detroit Auto Show more than once. I have gone all the way to Detroit just for that auto show, because it's special. Yeah. You know, the first time we met him in Montana, we met each other in Montana, we took a road trip to Seattle, which is 9 hours long, and I didn't know this car thing about him. And he was like, I have a fun road trip idea. The way, like, a guy might say, hey, here's a deck of cards. You want to play poker for, like, I don't know, money or something? I don't know the rules. But he was like, yeah, why don't you identify cars as they're coming by, like, in the oncoming lane? The year is 1995, and in Montana the speed limit is safe and prudent. Which means 100 miles an hour. And I told him it was like I was dating a geologist who was like, why don't you identify rocks while I throw them at you? From across the room. So I took him to a NASCAR rally. We camped out for 3 days. Because camp. Mostly in RVs, but we had a tent, which we set up because we came by airplane, so we couldn't bring our whole tent thing. So we set up this tent that, you know, it's like a Dr. Seuss thing. It just expands, and suddenly it's a very small 2-man tent, and there's 2 very big men standing next to it, and everyone who's camping around you kind of can figure out what's going on. Right? So we made some they're very good friends actually who came over. A guy named Lucky in here. His name is Stretch on my Facebook page. Yeah, he came right over and was like, hey, you guys want a Bud Light? Or maybe a Bud Light Lime? Like, yeah, Bud Light Lime. And we nailed it. it's very drunken and it's weird, cocktails, and they're very good Facebook friends. And this is the end of the article I wrote about them at NASCAR in Michigan. America, how beautiful you are in multitudes. 130,000 of you fanned across the metal bleachers wearing t-shirts boldly numbered with your favorite drivers, or in most cases wearing no shirts at all. Pale and tan and sunburned and fascinating shadows of yesterday's clothing. Tattooed with feathered cow skulls across your backs and barbed wire around your biceps and Celtic spirals on your shoulders, and who knows what it all means to you. Lathering each other with sunblock or sun oil, watching the camouflage roofless Humvees make their way around the track, each carrying one of the drivers you adore, waving at you with a smile. And today, the announcer says, the Canadian national anthem will be performed by Amy Rivard. You know her from her TV show, What's Up, Canuck? A big welcome to Amy Rivard. It is literally true. How beautiful in families gathered together with your headsets daisy-chained along the row, connected to lax to dad's bought, not rented scanner, each with your legal six-pack cooler and transparent bag with buds and Bud Lights kept cold and koozies with those same glorious numbers, 48 and 24 and 88. Maybe NASCAR fans know this number's got nothing to do. Jimmy Johnson, he won the last one. Big pale girls in tank tops and little wire glasses. Their white hair tied up high in the heat, and the tall, tan, lanky boys with boxers showing and a heart shape of sweat already forming on their shirt fronts, and dads hunkered down over their fan views, and moms standing and rooting for their drivers, and then turning and asking if anybody wants anything, waiting for headsets to be removed and repeating loudly, anybody want anything? Before heading out for a cigarette. And today, the announcer says, the national anthem will be performed by Chris Young. You know him as Nashville's rising star and Country Weekly's hottest bachelor. A big welcome to Chris Young! That makes me cough. How beautiful in pit row earlier that morning under the sweltering sun as you gathered by the cars you loved and wrote messages on the white concrete barriers and paid $1 for a yellow Joey Logano lug nut. Watch as crewmen painted putty on the... I have a Joey Logano lug nut. It's very young NASCAR driver. Watching as the crewmen painted putty on the wheels and placed new lug nuts lovingly on the soft adhesive so they could be thrown in the car and bolted quickly. How lovely standing on the track itself, shimmering in the heat, taking pictures of yourself against the vertiginous slope of the asphalt, the announcer's tower, the climb of the stadium behind you in yellow and red. How glorious standing by the fence, waiting for each driver to arrive as they always do, and sign your pit pass for you. For of all the sports, these stars are the most accessible to fans, the most touchable, the most real to you. And today, the announcer says, we are being assisted by the A-10 Warthogs from Selfridge Air Force Base. Here they come! We sit in giddy expectation, hats in hands, hands still over our hearts from the national anthem. Our drivers are there. Joey Logano has just gotten into his car after the last words. Embraced by our campmates, enlarged by the event itself. Barely touching fingers in an encoded sign of love, and a sign floats overhead, Billy, will you marry me, Amanda? And why didn't I think of that? An airplane banner, brilliant. Amanda is more of a romantic than I, who can only think of irony when planning an anniversary. NASCAR, indeed. And what is that roar behind us? A squadron of fighters flying up from the horizon in a strict V formation. The heart drops. Look up, here they come. And today, the announcer says, our grand marshals are Jordan and Jacob Vanderstel of Hudsonville, Michigan. The screen cuts to two boys in baseball caps, one wearing Gordon's number and the other Jimmy Johnson's. They are in wheelchairs. Apparently both brothers have muscular dystrophy and they wave to the crowd. How wonderful what we are about to watch over 4 hours. Race cars zooming through the miles, the crowd braving 3 rainstorms, waiting out the long stretches as the service master trucks dry off the track, the caution when Robbie Gordon blows a tire, watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. work his way car by car up the stretch, making up time on the straightaways, and hugging the outer groove, calculating the fuel consumption as Jimmy Johnson, after leading nearly every lap of the race, is forced to pit 2 laps shy of the finish and allows Brian Vickers to pull into the lead just a second and a half of Jeff Gordon. How wonderful to see my husband bent over his fan view, watching the image of each car along the track, each driver, each pit stop, his childhood fantasies come true of seeing cars not as vehicles, but as creatures of grace and power. How nice it will be to have a good shower in a hotel, and a good dinner and a beer back in Detroit, but for now the Bud Light line is cold and right. The hot dogs are right. The crowd is right, and somewhere out there, Lucky and Jennifer are in their seats, the western ones with the sun to their backs, the same seats they get year after year, with friends beside them standing to watch the cars get in their row from qualifying. A man leans in with the green flag. I see David laughing soundlessly as he grabs my hand, turning to me and mouthing, "Happy anniversary," and I mouth back, "Happy anniversary." We listen as in the high, bland tone of sick children called to do their best, the Vanderstel brothers shout, "Gentlemen, start your engines. How lovely to be married in America." Thank you.